Hey, welcome back to the PassionFruit Project. I am Kristen, where we are living our passions, bearing fruit, and glorifying God. So I hope everyone is having an awesome, beautiful day. I know I am for sure. I went out in the pool today trying to be off this heat, which is like 105, and it's super hot, which I am very excited about. And I am also just really grateful. I just want to say to all of you guys out there that have been either like messaging me or listening to us or talking to AJ or, just talking to your friends more. I know I've had a couple people tell me that they've been having some awesome conversations more from our podcast. So I want to say thank you to guys out there for that. I am so excited this time. And if you've not noticed that AJ has not introduced himself. So without further ado, I would love to say, this was so funny, he is the man of all talents. And we were talking about how he, is using his passions, and honoring the Lord. He is the hip hop artist, as we all love and know. I met him through dance at Cal Lutheran, so I know he's an awesome choreographer and also a wonderful friend, and also has done producing. And he started off this podcast. So I would love to give it, without further ado, the man, the legend, the hour of all of us, AJ for short.
Thank you, Kristen. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the love.
Oh no, you deserve all the love. It's so sweet. Like, you guys, I just want to tell everybody, like, you guys are all so loved out there. Like, no matter what's going on right now in your life, you guys are all so valued and loved and very special. And AJ is also very special to me. So AJ, how have you been? Like, how is it going?
It's going pretty good. It feels good to, we are turning the tables, so to speak. The first episode, I interviewed you. Now you're interviewing me.
Right.
I heard, I've been watching like lots of stuff about how to, make better podcasts and whatnot. And I heard someone say that the average podcast lasts 7 episodes and then dies. This is episode 6. So all we got to do is get one more in there, and we've officially are like average.
Okay, perfect. Perfect.
But we're going to be better than average because, PassionFruit Project,
Yes, I know for sure that we will make it longer than 7 episodes. I fully believe it. I believe we'll go way longer.
We got a whole spreadsheet of amazingly wonderful people to bring on in the future.
So. We do, and we have many more people. And honestly, like, and what AJ said is just so true. Like, literally, I know so many people, like, when they do a podcast and they kind of just stick with a lot of, like, the same stuff. A lot of it, I've noticed, like, I was watching this other one earlier. It's called, like, This Cultural Matters. And it's very amazing. It's very good. It's also very short, too. So when you said that, I completely agree with you. And so I know for sure, like, AJ's trying to find ways to improve on, like, the video and the audio and everything. And I know I'm also trying to look up too some like master classes on stuff on like what you should say versus what you shouldn't say. Because even though I did do a radio show at ISLU Radio at Cal Lutheran, it was definitely very different. And definitely it's weird right now. I gotta admit, like, having the power AJ is kind of interesting right now. I'm like, it's weird because like usually like when he talks, but it's really interesting and I like it. Different though, but in a good way. It's good to get me out of my comfort zone. So I'm super excited about this. And so, yeah, like, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep, living out the Lord's name and just, always making sure, that we are there for all of you guys out there, to others that, are Christian creatives out there. And so, yeah, I'm like super excited about what's to come. So AJ, without further ado, to the people that don't know you out there, I mean, okay, AJ knows a lot of people, but to the people that don't know you out there, tell them what you do and tell them kind of your origin story, just everything with, like, it could be your spiritual journey, creative journey, like all of that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the way that I kind of describe what I do to say an Uber driver or someone who I'm only meeting for a little bit and I have like 15 minutes to tell you my entire life story and hear your entire life story. I kind of call myself like a hip hop artist and choreographer. I'll word it differently for different people.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I say hip hop artist and producer. Sometimes I say hip hop artist and choreographer. But the idea is, like hip hop, this art and culture movement. I am someone who expresses myself through that medium. So I rap, I produce music, and I teach dance at a middle school. And it's hard to really pin down when I started doing things, because as I get older, I start to realize little by little that there were hints of those things. Like I would say I started rapping when I was in 4th grade, but I mean, I was listening to Kirk Franklin for like forever. As long as I've had memories, the song Revolution by Kirk Franklin is one of my all-time favorite songs. And it's like a gospel song from the 90s with this killer rap verse in it, and it's like all the genres that influenced and created hip hop. Those were all the things that I was listening to even before I started rapping. But I started rapping in 4th grade. And then like once I kind of started taking my faith more seriously and like actually following God, that was like the summer between 7th and 8th grade, which was around the same time that I decided I wanted to go into music. So those two things have kind of been going hand in hand ever since then, and I'm just learning along the way how to do it better,
Okay, no, that's really awesome. No, that's really cool. I don't know Kirk Franklin, but I would definitely check him out. That sounds really cool. I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't know Kirk Franklin. I feel like I should now. You're like so disappointed. I love this though, because like it's something new I can now check out. I've never heard of him. So
it's okay, but this is how people feel when I actually, in my music production class, I was doing a presentation on, I forget what it was, but I thought that Jimi Hendrix was one of the Beatles. And I guess he's not. I have no idea who the Beatles like members are. So this is the way that the entire class reacted, like the way you're reacting right now, is the same way that I react when people don't know gospel artists. I don't know anything about rock history and any of that. So you're.
I'm wearing the Rolling Stones, so
I don't even know who those are. All I know is there's a magazine.
There is a magazine. You're not. That's facts. You're not wrong. But yeah. After the show, you guys, I'm gonna tell AJ who won the Beatles are, because I think he needs to know. And 2, I'm gonna talk about the Rolling Stones, because I'm currently wearing this shirt and I really love the Rolling Stones. And actually, another thing for AJ to know is I saw one of their last concerts last summer. So it was pretty good. Really, really good. I was very surprised. They were all in like their 60s and 70s playing the instruments, and I was like, you go, fam. You go. Yes. So yes. And everyone should love to know. I love to like thumbs up a lot. I don't know. It's just kind of, it's been like a thing. So we'll see. Okay, cool. That's super funny. Well, no, it's really cool. And speaking of like hip hop and everything, we actually met in our hip hop class in my sophomore year, your junior year. And we fully didn't really know each other before that. I met him a bit that semester before, and then we jumped into hip hop, and we learned a lot about the culture and everything like that. And I know AJ really likes to like follow that and really likes to, put that into his music. And we'll talk a little more about his music a little bit, because he has two singles he's put out. So AJ, why don't we talk about like just the culture for you and just kind of how it's really embodied into your creative journey and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So I've lived in the suburbs my whole life, so I'm not a city kid or anything like that.
Right.
I didn't grow up in the city of LA, but I would say more or less I'm from Santa Clarita, which is a little bit outside of LA for those who don't know the geography. But when I was in high school, we had like this youth group called Zero Gravity and whatnot, and the people who ran the youth group at the church were rappers. And you know, like it was lots of rappers and dancers, and it was almost like this little pocket of urban culture within the suburban city. And so they would like kind of teach me about like how to be a better rapper, and and sometimes it wasn't even necessarily like the kind of stuff that you can teach and learn in the classroom, but it's more so like hip hop. It's not as much about the genre of music or the style of dance. It's more so about this art and culture movement that creates community. That's kind of how I describe it to middle schoolers and whatnot, because to them, they think hip hop. They think, yeah, I go on Spotify and I type in hip hop when I want to listen to G-Eazy or whatever. But it's so much more than G-Eazy. Hip hop it's a whole thing. And I mean, I don't know how into it you want me to necessarily get, but we talked a little bit in the very first episode about the cipher and how the cipher is like a representation of community and whatnot, and the cipher can look different in different ways, but that's the core of hip hop, the idea of the cipher, the community, expression, knowledge, all that stuff. That's what I was raised in that youth group, and that is what I try to give to the middle schoolers that I teach in the incredibly white suburban city of Thousand Oaks, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, no, I mean, we did talk about a little bit of the cipher. And now, like, there's been so much time has kind of passed since that class. So I know, like, you've definitely probably really have, like, really, and I know we talk about middle school, and, like, I know AJ's, like, so passionate about that out there. The Boys and Girls Club is where he works at. It's really, really cool. I see it every time I drive by, so it's really awesome. And so,
right next to 507.
Right next to 507. 507. So if y'all want
hashtag not sponsored.
Not sponsored, but yes. Yes and no. So yeah, definitely check those out. It's really cool. And so pretty much now that we've kind of like, we've had some time, you were also in advanced hip hop and I was not in advanced hip hop. And then we also went to a conference, which I actually mentioned about probably a little bit in the first episode of ACDA. And I think this is really true because I think it's so easy. Like I know a lot of like within dance, like what you said, it is about a community and it is about a movement. And I do feel it with the time pass. I know for AJ, what he's really done, which always really like inspires me, is that he makes his dances a community. It's not just like you're with these dancers. You've like said like, hey, like you're going to be with me and I'm going to support you and we're going to be in this together. We're going to be healed and we're going to be together by Jesus. And so I guess I just want to talk about is right now, pretty much AJ had a dance for Cal Lutheran. His last semester, unfortunately, did not get shown. It was very sad. But I want to talk a little bit about that process and what that kind of was like until before the pandemic happened. I think it's really important to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So in the collegiate dance world, there's not a ton of hip hop representation. It's a lot of modern dance and modern dance. It's a lot of modern dance. And so I didn't know this necessarily, but I went to ACDA, you know, American Collegiate Dance Association, I think.
Yeah, you're pretty right.
The first year that we both went, and I was kind of upset because there wasn't a lot of hip hop representation in the adjudicated pieces there. And so then I thought to myself, like, as the next year was coming around, I was like, man, I want to create a piece, like a hip hop piece that can rival these modern pieces and whatnot, and contemporary. I think Kalu, a lot of the people in the dance program from dance team originally. And a lot of those dance team kids were studio kids who took tons of contemporary classes and ballet and whatnot growing up. So their collegiate pieces ended up being modern and contemporary. So I wanted to create a hip hop piece that could kind of rival theirs in terms of storytelling. So I thought to myself, well, what kind of story can I tell that would be meaningful? And I knew like at that same time, I was also just processing some stuff about, you know, kind of like growing up and what it was like, you know, for as long as I've had memories, my parents have been divorced, and there was like a period in my of time where I didn't really see my dad for a really long time, and that definitely had an effect on me. But I also, like, as I got older, I started to see that it wasn't just a me thing. Like, a lot of people go through this idea of fatherlessness, even if your father is in your life, or even like physically, or maybe they're away on some kind of like a military thing, or it could be your parents are divorced and you stay primarily with your mom, etc. But specifically, I saw that in the Black community, a lot of African Americans like myself grow up without a present father figure pouring into them and building them up in their like adolescent years. And so I wanted to kind of put that into a dance to help myself process through that and how I felt about it. But also to kind of like tell a story that I think doesn't necessarily get told often in dance. And so the intention, everyone has to give an intention for their dance pieces, was a piece about the effects of fatherlessness on children, specifically in the African American community. But I knew that I wasn't gonna get Black dancers because they don't exist at Kowloon. I mean, they do exist. Like, there are Black people in the dance program.
But I know what you're saying.
But I wasn't gonna get a cast of 21 people that were all, you know. So I kind of changed it, made it, the effect of fatherlessness on children, just period.
Right.
And so that was the conceptual process. And then I had a song that it revolved around called "Was It Worth It?" And then from that song and from that concept, that intention, I built this 4-part piece that used locking, swing dancing, urban contemporary, and just regular contemporary. So basically like a string of 4 different styles, but all with an urban vibe to them, like all with a hip hop feel. And so then like I made the rehearsals very hip hop heavy and whatnot, in terms of like every rehearsal there was always a cypher, there was always like freestyling and whatnot, lots of skill building, community building and whatnot, to make sure that even though what people might see for like the contemporary section, what was going to be, it was going to be, you know, girls dancing on stage in white flowy dresses. The very next one, you know, like the ending was going to be a crump battle between the main character, the daughter, and the father and whatnot. But the father's not actually there. She's just thinking of herself crump battling her. It was really exciting. I'm really sad that it didn't end up getting happen because of COVID. But I still know that I want to create that piece and put that out there for the world to see. But also, again, for myself to process through those thoughts. So long answer, but...
No, like, no, I really love that. And I think that's so different to do all those different styles. Like, I've never seen ever a combo done like that before. So I think that's really cool that you were going to try to take like urban contemporary, like have a swing, have a crump, like at the end. Like, I think that'd be really cool, because like crumping, man, like I think crumping's really cool. So that is like, yeah, I'm just like, I'm still trying to process all the different things. Like, I'm just like, I can like see it, like, and you tell too, like how Asia is explaining it, I can visually, for me, I'm such a visual person, I could like visually see what that could have possibly been like not fully, but a decent picture. I think that's so cool. And like, I know that it'll eventually get made. And it's actually interesting, guys. AJ is also a like producer and does like music and stuff. Would you ever make this into a song? Would you ever like think about that?
You know,
Just curious. I know it's like random, but
That is an excellent question. I have not, but sometimes I'm not sure like how much to share about my personal life because like I don't want to. I'm not always trying to put folks on wax like that.
Yeah, I know.
Like, but I do, like in my most recent single, Billie Jean. Like I mentioned some stuff in there that like I don't know if people caught it, but it was like it was a little bit of the story of how I came to Jesus in the second verse. And I found a way to do it where it was subtle and maybe people don't even know that that's there without putting the other person who is involved in that situation on wax, So who knows, maybe like I could explore, this was it worth it idea. Was it worth it was the name of the piece in a song. That's not on my mind right this second, but man, that's the power of music. I got my whole life to create songs and about different things, so I'm excited.
Yeah, no, that's like super, super awesome. And speaking of Billie Jean and speaking of music, that just came out, which was really awesome. He also has Rain Freestyle, and he has got another song coming out really soon. I'm not gonna say what it's about, but it's coming out really, really soon. So I wanted to know about how the process of Billie Jean came to be. Oh, well, that's Billie Jean. Yes.
Yeah. Well, it actually started as an exercise. So before let me think about the timeline really quick. So I used to do this exercise where I would listen to songs, popular songs, and just try and recreate their drum patterns so that I could learn to create good drum patterns. There's this saying in music, it's probably for more than just music, but it's that good artists copy and great artists steal. And the idea is if you want to be great, learn how to like legitimately rip off and steal stuff from other already great songs so that you can build up the skill of how to do that thing. And then now that you have the skill, you let go of the thing that you stole from and you create something new out of it. So where Billie Jean came from was I was stealing from the song Money in the Grave by Drake. And I'd heard it and I was like, ooh, this is kind of hard and whatnot. So like the exercise, I was recreating the drum pattern and I was like, oh, well, I guess that's kind of done now pretty much. And so I just left it there. And then about a year, like half a year later, I was working on a mixtape that still hasn't seen the light of day yet because I'm waiting to release it for the right time. And I went back and listened to the Money in the Grave remake that I created. And I was like, this isn't actually that bad. So I went in and I changed some stuff and I took away some of the Money in the Grave stuff. And made it more of its own kind of like sad song kind of deal. And I started writing and this idea of like confessions and whatnot came to my mind because it was like a sad song originally. And I was like, yeah, like a song about confessions, just talking about sin and like acknowledging that I am a sinful human being, like Romans 3:23, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. But the free gift of God's eternal life and whatnot, but kind of just focusing on the confession part. From that I had written something earlier on to like another song where I said, no cap, I was bad Billie Jean. And so while I was listening to this new song that I was creating, I was like, bad like Billie Jean, like Billie Jean, like Billie Jean. And I was like, oh, that actually kind of sounds nice. And so like I kind of built the song around this like bad like Billie Jean idea and, the idea of just, talking about your own vices and not glorifying them and saying like, look at how angry I am. It's so wonderful. But more so like, look at how God has saved me. Like now I see how much I needed saving. And so it was definitely a process. I think when I first came up with the full concept of the song was May. No, it was March, because I was telling you about it like the day after I came up with the concept. And
Oh
then
yeah, I remember that.
I put out the song at the July 10th. So it was like
Mm-hmm.
a 4-month process. Partially because I took a lot of breaks, but yeah.
No, like I like how you really said that. Like, and it's honestly that's a good thing too. Is like you can always just go at your own timetable. Like, you guys, we don't need to feel the need to like. And I do this a lot too. This is hey, I just as much sin on this part too. Is where I feel the need to like want to like hurry things up. I'm like, okay, let's get this out as soon as we can. How is this gonna, affect this? I like the fact that you said like you just took a lot of breaks and you were okay with it. And I like what you said about like AJ, you were not just kind of saved, you were saved by Jesus. Like,
Amen.
like seriously, you were saved, AJ. Like I know you were. Like no matter everything that you've gone through, like you were. And what you're saying is so true about your vices. Like, and honestly, what this is something that I also too, like what I learn a lot from AJ. This is like a learning thing that I've learned from him is AJ has such a humility that sometimes I need to work on a lot more because
Oh, please tell me more. Tell me more.
because like humility, guys, like he literally just said like he sinned. He didn't just self-deprecate. He didn't just like degrade himself down. And because I know this has happened to me many and many of times. Like I've done it when I'm really like upset or stressed or something. I'll be like, hey, you're really awesome. And I'll be like, with me, I'll be like, I don't know, like something like that. And it's like, no, like humility is just like, like you've just accepted and you're going to be good. And, you guys all have the great uses of stuff from God. So yeah, I just wanted to say about humility because I thought that's honestly what popped into my mind when I thought about AJ. So you said it good, the vices, man. And
Thanks.
I mean,
And I would say like for like any rappers that are listening right now, obviously there's this idea of like there's the things that rappers talk about. These things are the things that rappers discuss. These things are the things that rap songs must be about.
right.
You do not have to stick to that whatsoever. Like
Right.
your songs do not all have to be about, like money and I don't know, cocaine or whatever. Like,
Right.
like it is not corny to talk about Jesus in your songs. And it's also, you're also not a heathen if you don't talk about Jesus in your songs. Like you're free to create music that's unique to you and tells stories from your life.
Mm-hmm.
And stories are just naturally beautiful. And a
I
well-told
agree.
story can point to Jesus, even if you don't necessarily mention him in the story,
Yeah, no, I think that's really good to mention because I think like I've always noticed this too, like especially like social media. That gets to be a really big one where I've always noticed people like if they mention about Jesus it's one way and then if they don't talk about it, it's like always a different way. And it's like, no, like you can still like we all still love him all the same, no matter what. Even if you are, if you are, Christian, if you're not, like we all just like we all love you the same. We all like love Jesus the same. So like that's always something that too. It's like just always like always it always will be okay. Like I always say, like no matter what, like it's okay if you've fallen from grace, like and you're just not sure, and that is also okay. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. My next question for you would be what okay, so I'll say this in a way. Since we've all talked about just art and music, I meant to say your artist, not music, artist and musician. And so pretty much what have the role of kind of just faith has really played into your music, just working with middle school kids and could be with your relationships, your friendships. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I mentioned earlier, I was raised in a Christian household and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So I always believed in God. Now,
Mm-hmm.
there were times in my life where I didn't like God necessarily.
Right.
Like, because I was like, oh man, God, why'd you make me so angry? Or why'd you make me so like blank, you know, or why did you make me with such bright skin, or why don't I have hair like my siblings, et cetera, et cetera. But you know, I think like a big way that like my faith has played a part in my life, like after I've come to Jesus, was really starting to wrestle with deeper questions, and like I had a place to go with my questions. That like I could go to God and not fully understand or not fully get it. As a 13-year-old trying to make sense of this crazy world that we live in. And things didn't always make perfect sense, but I started to understand more as I kind of just pressed in more. You know, my, like, there was one of my family members was in an accident when I was a sophomore in high school, and it really took a big toll on me. And I saw myself kind of getting into like some dark thoughts and whatnot. And I knew that I needed a big change. And so I started going to church more. Like I would take the bus to church because I had no one to take me at that time, for like a little season. And my sister had been doing it because she sang on the worship team. So I was like, oh, I'll just take the bus to church like my sister does. And that kind of got me around, you know, like those rappers that ran the youth group. But like getting into college years, it's definitely been something where I actually put my faith before my music. So like I have a list of my priorities, and as a freshman in college, I became a Young Life leader, and I actually, on my priority list, I put Young Life before I put like music and like dance and personal brand stuff. So it definitely was something where I felt like I got to develop a lot as a person over the last 4 years in college. And that's like being a better person makes like it gives me better things to talk about in my music, because now like I know the things that are on the hearts of, you know, the people, you know, young people and people my age. Oh, I mean, we're young. But,
we're still
you know,
young. Like,
yeah, like I know the things that are on the hearts and minds of high schoolers. I know the things that are on the hearts and minds of college students. I've made like my small group right now at Calvary. They're all in their late 20s. Like 2 of them are 30. So I think actually 3 or 4 of them are 30 now that I think about it. So like I just becoming a better person has helped make me a better musician. And I'm only a better person because of like devotion to my faith and devotion to Jesus. So it's all his work at the end of the day. I kind of forgot the question already. I'm sorry. I'm talking way too much.
Joe, it's okay. You said literally, you guys, he said it so perfectly. Like I could have gone it any other way. And I always say, you know, sometimes too, like, and this is so interesting with like everything that he's kind of just, he said it, but it's all intertwined. I know it's because like God's given him to create that image and to create that work. So he said it totally perfectly. I don't even worry about it.
Yeah,
really
you know, and
funny.
I'd say like one of the things I'm grateful for is I've kind of been able to, again, I'm not perfect at it yet,
right,
but I'm learning to integrate the different parts of my life and the different things that I do. So like I've learned a bunch of instruments for the sake of doing ministry stuff and doing like music and things like for Young Life. I learned how to play the cajon, the conga. I didn't learn djembe for Young Life, but I did learn it in the midst of all that. Guitar, ukulele, and whatnot.
Wait,
and those skills.
What? Oh,
yeah,
so sorry.
A little bit.
Sorry, I had to interrupt because, okay, so I learned, okay, I used to say the ukulele, but we learned that that's not how you say it. It's the ukulele.
Like ukulele.
Ukulele, yes. So I learned it
My
for
bad,
about
I'm sorry.
like 4 years. So, but I don't remember anymore now as much. But
wait, you play ukulele? Oh, okay, for sure.
I did for like when I was in elementary school. They had like a program where like you would like learn and somebody would like teach like after school. And so I like learned it for like 4 years. It was really cool. Like I really, really enjoyed it. Like, so it's really interesting you said you know a little bit of it, because I was like, wait, like, you know some of that. Like I didn't even know, you guys, I didn't even know AJ knew any of that. Like half the instruments he's told me, I didn't even know he played. Like,
yeah, But
And then
like learning how to play those has helped me become a better
right.
producer, and then but it also has helped me in ministry connect to other kids who play those instruments. But also because I'm a dancer, I'm able to connect with kids who do dance. And like connecting to those kids, I can like invite them into like this like hip hop community and like this world of not just saying that you do music or not just saying that you do dance, but creating things. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how to do it right. Like there's a kid who just graduated from like our high school program who wants to be a musician, like wants to be a rapper and whatnot. And so like we went to 507 last week and just like chatted about like how we can make that happen. You know, like what kind of equipment we would need and what the strategic side of that would be. So like I'm learning to put the dance and the music and the ministry together and make my life kind of cohere in a way that I can make money, but also like do what I love and glorify God. So literally the whole premise of this podcast.
Right, exactly. So my next question would be like, how are you, because you were saying a little bit, actually you literally brought a little bit into this right now, which is actually so funny, is like you kind of, the way you're doing it, which is so cool, is like you're working with kids and you're really like, you're making your dreams a reality, but also like you're bearing fruit with your passions. So I'm also curious as this too is that what has been your favorite project to work on? Or what has been your favorite like learning maybe experience? It can be a challenge you've had. Like I know for sure, like I've had challenges in a way in a project, like any of that.
Excellent question. What's been my favorite project I work on? The thing is, I know that these questions are coming. Yeah, I don't have answers to them.
It's perfect.
Dance wise, you know, I think this Was It Worth It project was probably my favorite because I felt like I had such unique talent in the room this time around because I casted with certain skills in mind.
Yeah.
As well as knowing that like I try to make a special point to not necessarily always pull in the most famous or like famous quote unquote or like known dancers in school, but the ones who I think can do what I need for the project. So I was really excited about Was It Worth It, and the rehearsals that I did get to do were so good. But also I did a piece a few years ago. No, what? I was gonna say Easy to Love, which was the piece that you were in as a freshman. But actually, my Veggie Tales piece is probably my favorite one.
You know, I gotta admit,
I'ma Be Me.
Solo. Katie's solo.
Yeah.
That always hits me with Katie's solo. I just was like, just she says it, I'm like, yes. Like
the worst part about this is there's no video anywhere for people to look at. I might try and go back and find it and see if I can get the permission of everyone from that piece to post it to YouTube.
Okay.
But I did a piece, it's called I'ma Be Me, that was about individuality. Right. And the center section had like silly songs with Larry from Veggie Tales. Oh man, it was so good. Oh man. But that's just dance wise. Music wise, I think probably Billie Jean. I feel like it was really fun, and it was definitely different from the singles I'd released previously, Rain Freestyle and God Dream. But I literally have a new, like I just did a remix to the song Like That by Doja Cat, and I haven't released it yet, but it's coming like in the next couple days to SoundCloud and a YouTube near you, AJ for short, on all platforms.
Well, there you go, you guys. Go check out Like That by Doja Cat. I love Doja Cat, so I'm excited about this cover for sure. But yes, you guys can all find them at AJ _for short on all platforms.
That's right.
All platforms. Yes. There you go. Oh, okay. Well, that's like super awesome. Well, that's a lot of different projects, and it's so cool about all of those is that those are all so unique and they're all so differently intentioned, which remember, because I know definitely the difference between the first two, because I was in the first two, you guys. I was in Easy to Love and I was in I'ma Be Me. So I know the complete differences about that. And it's actually cool because in I'ma Be Me, we were like in a cipher for that too.
That's true.
We did. I remember because I did the whoa in mine and it was pretty fun. Every single time we rehearsed the day I did a whoa. So that was a lot of fun. I remember that. It was really cool. Okay, awesome. Yeah. Well, yeah, this has been, guys, and this has been so much fun. And you guys, we're about to have to leave soon, which is making me sad. But it's been really, really good, you guys. I promise, you know. And what's so interesting about like all of this is that, you know, is that it's gonna be a confession time, you guys. I'm gonna say something. Is that when you guys like someone who's, you know, Christian or not, you know, I'm gonna say this. At the time when I first met AJ, I was trying to figure it out. I was Catholic, trying to come out, and so I wasn't really fully there. And I definitely was angry a lot, and I have made plenty of my mistakes, you guys. So I just want to say that out there to everybody out there that it's okay. You're gonna make mistakes. Like it's gonna happen, you know, either way. And so I am so glad that, you know, God kind of saw like AJ and I as like a sign language of love. Like we're gonna like, if it's gonna trust God, if it's gonna happen, like AJ is going to be in my life. And that love has been so reinforced and like so like such a sound. I say sound. I took ASL, and for that, like you guys, like that, like Christian love, like that friendship, like AJ's friendship has changed my life forever. And I will always say that. So
thanks, Kristen. I appreciate, you know, there's of course that
right.
Man, you know, sometimes I forget like where some of these Bible verses are from, but there is this one Bible verse that's like you know, like they'll know us by our love, like talking about Christians.
Yeah, they'll know us.
And there's all these different words for love in Greek, you know, and whatnot. We only have one word in English, but like one of them, you know, is phileo, not phileo fish, but phileo as in brotherly love. It would be like the English translation. So like one would say like Philadelphia is the city of brotherly love. You know, or like philosophy is loving sophos, which is knowledge, like love, knowledge, philosophy. So phileo, so like they'll know us by our phileo. They'll know us by like our love, almost as if we were family members, even though we're not related. But like they'll know us by our love, and I think there's the world needs more love in it. So I'm just grateful to be a part of that, and I'm not perfect at it. But
nope.
Here we are. Wow, you're so quick to say that.
I know, because we are. Like, I was telling you, we're not perfect. Like, it's so true. Like, it's so true. And that's why it's like I wanted to say that, you guys. And believe me, I've had moments, you guys, where with AJ, it's actually so funny, where I was like, and it's like, this will happen. Like, Satan will say different things. And it happens because I had times too, I was like, nah, like, I'm going to see AJ here and there for dance. Like, nothing else is gonna happen. It was like, because like I met him, but like I didn't really know and stuff. So yeah, you guys, you never know.
Yeah,
trust in God.
Yeah, no, there's been AJ and Kristen beef, absolutely. You know,
yes.
Once upon a time, even like I mean, even the process of putting together that first dance piece, Easy to Love, there were moments,
yeah,
but we came out stronger because of it.
We did. And that's like something I wanted to say, because I think, you know, it's really easy to like see like, oh, like this is like all, you know, with Christians, like, oh, it's like, it's all so amazing. And I know people have told me like, oh, it's like so easy. And I'm like, actually, guys, it's not. There are days where I will still struggle too. And there are days where I will have made my mistakes. There have also been the days too where I don't represent Jesus Christ in that moment. So I just wanted to say that. I thought it was important to say. So heading into the last question, and it kind of was a good leeway into it, which I really liked, is that AJ. Also, guys, AJ graduated from college. So I had to say class of 2020. I had to say that because it's a good leeway, actually. Because literally, you guys, he just graduated, and I'm still a senior. So for him, since he's now like graduated, he's now out there, he's doing it, fam. What is your advice for any other creatives out there that are still in school? I would say, I mean, still in school, not like, but still in school and want to do this. And you know, we all talk about money, and you know, want to make our passions a reality, and like just bearing the fruit of that, and like planting those seeds in there. And so, what is your advice out there, AJ? If you had something to say,
I'd say a couple things. The first thing I'd probably say is, if you're a dancer, well, this might apply to other things too, but I'll say for dancers, if you're good with kids, understand that you can get paid money for being good at both of those things. Like if you are good with kids and you can dance, there's no shame in being a college student, like working at an after-school care program or something and making money teaching dance. You don't have to go and audition to be Beyonce's backup dancer, you know, or something. Like I make most of the money that I make from Boys and Girls Club, and because they hired me to teach dance, but they have kept me around because I'm like very good. Like I try not to be too prideful, but I'd like to think that I'm pretty good with kids. You know, that's what I'd say about that. I'd also say try and build systems into your life where you can like that create more content for you. So like I work out as part of my morning routine. So like right after I spend my time with Jesus, I go and work out. At the end of like, as in like I stretch and warm up. I have like a short like strength workout, and then I freestyle, and then I choreograph. And from the choreography comes stuff for TikTok, stuff for Instagram, and potentially stuff for YouTube or like dance ideas. So like build systems that allow you to create content daily. And then I say like for musicians, like for rappers, it's pretty much the same thing. Just instead of like replace the choreography with writing, or if you're a producer, replace the choreography with producing. Like, let's say every day after breakfast you're gonna produce, or every day after dinner you're gonna produce, or you're gonna write every day at 4 p.m. You know, just find some time of the day and some place to specifically do the thing that you're trying to do daily, so then you can put that out there and just keep getting better.
I like that. I actually had some stuff I was going to say a little bit about that. So I love it, guys. Well, I'm going to say, well, I would say this anyways, but in the words of Brian Howard, because we all know, we all love him, and I love him, but I always say this to people, and people actually think it's kind of funny. And then I heard it last night, and I cracked myself up. If you let, it's like, okay, I need to rephrase. I'm going to sound completely off from right now. I don't want to completely copy him. So I'm going to say this. I usually always say the world consumes you if you don't try to consume it with stuff. And consumption of stuff that's not, like you said, AJ, scheduling out your day, it's going to make it really difficult. And I've actually experienced through that, because when you plan out your day, it helps. But yes, I don't want to completely copy him, but I say that sometimes.
Yeah, if you don't control what you consume, it'll wait, no, that's
the world will consume you. Yes.
Oh yeah, if you do not control how you consume the world will consume you.
And I say the world will consume you a lot. So I thought that was so funny. See, I remember the second half because I've said that before to somebody. Yeah, like I would just say, like, it's really good because it's so easy to, you know, everything going on to just like, for me, it's like I'm on social media like all the time, like sometimes a lot. And I like what he said is that he's trying to schedule into things that are like workouts. Workouts are really good, you guys. Like I highly encourage you to do workouts, because I know I've been doing more workouts, and that's been super, super helpful. And thank you again, AJ, for the first half of that verse. I could not remember the first half.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I agree with what you're saying. It is harder to get distracted with consuming things when you're busy creating things.
Right.
So create more, consume less.
Yeah, so it definitely helps. I know that for experience. I've also known people too that are like filmmakers like me who've had a really hard time with that, because they're just consuming other things that they're doing. And also, guys, food's really good. So I know I've consumed that in this time. So just letting y'all know, and it's really easy. So telling you guys that right now. Workouts are great, and I've also seen it too with AJ. It's really good is that he'll do like TikToks a lot, and I always see that AJ's putting up a TikTok and he's doing some freestyle dance, and it's like, and I sometimes I know it's like a work in progress, and I love that as well. And I know sometimes it's like he really is going hard at it, and sometimes I love it because I'm seeing him do crazy footsteps that I can't do outside, and I'm like, good luck. So
I appreciate.
You are so
I do
welcome.
it for the people.
Man, no, it's just so funny. No, you guys, AJ and TikTok, sorry guys, they crack me up. They literally crack me up. I'm sorry. I just have to say the reason why is I will like scroll through. And that's too what I can consume is I'll start scrolling through, which is a lot. And then it just starts to be a bunch. And they do it really well. So it's great. But no, yeah, that was pretty much it for this show so far. But before we leave, we've got the awesome, the legendary lightning round of questions, which is so interesting because this time I get to do it. And last time I was not prepared. I was like so not ready either. So this is gonna be really, really funny. He has to, okay. I don't fully remember the time, you guys, but I know he has to beat Travis with like 29 seconds. I don't know exactly the point, but I know 29 seconds was it. So you got 29 seconds, AJ. Okay.
All right. So wait, should I set a timer on my phone, or can you set a timer on your phone from where you are?
I would say you should set the timer because I'm using
okay. I'm probably gonna slightly give myself an edge, but I'll go over to my stopwatch and I'll press it here when you just tell me when to press it.
Okay.
So.
Okay, I got the questions. Okay, ready, set, go. Favorite ice cream flavor?
Mint chocolate chip.
Favorite movie?
Catching Fire.
Favorite fast food?
Chick-fil-A.
What's your spirit animal?
Pikachu.
Ever broken a bone?
Yes, my left arm.
Okay, cool. Any plans for world domination?
Oh, always.
Would you rather have a horse-sized dog or a dog-sized horse?
Dog-sized horse, without a doubt.
Okay, there you go.
Do you see that? Again, that I don't know if that's cheating, but that says 28.94 seconds.
Okay, so as of right now, AJ so far has the world record. So
I'm sorry, Travis. I had to do it to you.
I'm sorry, Travis. I appreciate you though, fam. I saw you last night. We love you. So yes, but no, AJ so far, congratulations. 28.94. That's like really close too. Like you like literally scathed through him. Which
yeah, man.
This is so crazy. This was awesomely amazing. And it's so weirdly funny about this is that what I appreciate is that even though the tables were turned, I actually learned a lot of new stuff about AJ tonight. So I'm really grateful to learn some new stuff that even I didn't know about before. So
yeah, just trying to provide some value for the people and whatnot. But this has been good. Thanks for being an excellent host and amazing co-producer, Kristen.
Yay!
I don't know. Do you want to take us out all by yourself, or should I join you for this outro?
I am gonna let AJ join us out because I just know that you're missing that.
Man. All right. Well, in that case, my name was AJ Akpodiete. I mean, it is AJ Akpodiete, but you can call me AJ for short.
And my name is Kristen Case, and thank you guys.
Thanks for listening to the PassionFruit Project.
Where we are living our passions of bearing fruit and glorifying God. Thank you guys again for checking us out, and we will talk to you guys next week.